Imagine this. What if your body already knows what you need before you check the data on your Oura Ring or your Apple Watch? Way before your brain starts second guessing everything you do. What if midlife wasn't about figuring yourself out, but actually finally trusting what has been there all along? Today, I'm sharing with you something that I've been using quietly on my own to help me with my own choices, kind of behind the scenes. I really haven't talked much about it now, but it's time. This is the thing I turn to when I feel stuck, unsure, or scattered about my decisions. Today, we're diving into something called the Awesome Awful Test. It is a simple, powerful way to return back to you. It's a chance to pause long enough so you know what yes feels like in your body, and also a chance to know what no feels like. And if you get, well, I don't know how I feel, I'm not sure, I don't know what to do, I'm going to give you a question that will crack that thing wide open. Today's episode is about blending your intuition, your inner knowing, and science. It's about letting your body and your inner knowing actually lead the way, especially in the world that's taught us to override her. We know that menopause can feel really, really messy, but I'd like to invite you to believe that menopause is actually a return to yourself. Stick around to the end because this actually might change the way you make every decision from this point out. So let's get to it. Hey there, I'm Cam Allen. Welcome back to the Menopause Method. Today's episode is a very personal, honest conversation. Things that I've known about, but I actually haven't said out loud. We know that midlife is full of hormonal shifts, but it's way more than that. It's actually a homecoming back to yourself. It's for you to say, I don't really care about that anymore. Your opinion doesn't matter anymore. It's a return to yourself, and the energy is amazing. I know that menopause can feel like a breakdown. I've been there, but I want you to see it this way, or at least I invite you to see it this way. It's actually an invitation back to yourself. Today, we're talking about the Awesome Awful Test and actually listening to your body and trusting your own wisdom. You may be wondering, why did we lose connection with our body anyhow? Honestly, we've been taught to outsource all of our decisions to the experts, the doctors in our lives, or the trackers we wear on our body, like the Oura Ring and the Apple Watch, to the diets from carnivore to keto to fasting. Makes your head spin. And then get on social media and you'll have 8 zillion different ways to handle menopause. But here's the thing. In midlife, the body starts whispering louder and louder. Maybe you've noticed that. Maybe you've noticed your fatigue is off the wall. You have more cravings than normal, anxiety, the aches and pains. All of that is your body speaking to you. When you perceive something that's not going right in your body or not going right in midlife, it's actually an opportunity to be quiet, get still and grounded, and check in with your body, because I believe your unconscious mind will tell you what your next right step is. In fact, let's talk about that for a minute. There's a whole bunch of things called the prime directives of the unconscious mind. Basically, they're just truths. One of it is the unconscious mind stores and organizes memories. And also, the unconscious mind knows your health right now, and also it knows your perfect health. So when I teach you this Awesome Awful Test, the first thing that bubbles up for you, that's your unconscious mind. That is your unconscious mind and your body leading you back to your own perfect health. That's amazing. We have been taught, me included, to override these signals for decades. And to bring it back to science, because it's all about science and to intuition, when your body, the nervous system, is on high alert all the time, your cortisol is pumping out of your adrenals, stress actually blocks clear signals. If you're constantly on an on mode, your body never gets to speak, and you honestly never get to hear it. So let's actually get into the practice. The Awesome Awful Test is a simple practice to check in your body before you make a decision. So let's start with what a yes feels like. A yes could feel open and expansive and energizing and very lightweight. In your body, that yes may be in your throat or in your high heart or in your heart, but it'll feel like an expansive, warm, opening feeling. but you'll feel it somewhere in your body. Let's practice this. Think about a time you were hanging out with some of your girlfriends and you were having the best time. And after you left, you felt energized and like you just wanted to be around them. That's what yes feels like to you. Now let's switch it. Have you ever been in a group of people and after you left, you were absolutely exhausted? You didn't want to be there anymore. You were just ready to go. Maybe you felt a lump in your throat because you needed to say something you weren't saying. Or this one's my go-to one, you get a bellyache. Literally, your gut feelings are like, yeah, this is not okay. It may feel tight or heavy, draining, closed off. Those are some of the words that I would describe what no feels like. So I want you to think back to a group of people and you left like exhausted. You just needed a nap and you wanted to get away. That experience is your body saying, nope, that's not for you. So what happens if you feel nothing, like you feel disconnected and confused, maybe even numb? This is when I ask this amazing question. If I did know the answer, what would the answer be? And the first thing that pops up in your mind, that is your unconscious mind giving you the answer. Now, the thing about our unconscious mind is we have our conscious mind is like 5% and our unconscious mind is 95%. The more we know, there's a thicker wedge between our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. The more information we have, the thicker that wedge is. Meaning it may take some practice for your unconscious mind to bubble up and for you to actually trust it. See, the women I attract are very smart and they have lots of knowledge. And this is like the opposite of that. I'm asking you to put away the books. Don't read the internet. I'm asking you to actually trust your body because your body knows the answer. And I believe that your unconscious mind will return you back to where you need to go. But again, the more knowledge you have, sometimes that wedge to get into the unconscious mind is thick. So we're going to have to practice that. I'm going to give you an example of a story where I completely ignored the signal, and that would be my hysterectomy. Every part of me knew that I should not be getting a hysterectomy, that this was not the right decision, that there were other choices out there. Yet I gave my entire authority to an outside expert who happened to be a very young doctor. This happened to be one of her first hysterectomies. And in my mind, I said, well, she's new. She knows all the latest information. My conscious brain said that. My unconscious brain knew I was making a mistake, but I went through with it anyhow. Then during post-op, she gave me oral estrogen, which was not bioidentical, which is the worst way to take estrogen orally. And I asked her about progesterone, and she told me, I don't need progesterone because I don't have a uterus anymore. What? And I knew that was wrong too. So my brain knew that was wrong, but also my unconscious, my body knew that was wrong. Actually felt sick to my stomach. Like I've had my body parts removed and now that's like a permanent decision. So that's an example of when I did not use the awesome, awful test. In fact, my midlife awakening happened after the menopause, and I went back to school to learn more about hormones. But also, I learned that the answer was always inside of me. And when I look back to the day I had the hysterectomy, I knew I was making a mistake, but I chose to ignore that. Now, that's a very extreme example. I'm sure that you have real life examples of where you knew something and you did it anyhow. And you're like, darn it, I knew that wasn't for me. Those are the whispers of your body saying, hey, lady, I got you. It's a chance to listen to yourself. Again, we're taught to like outsource all of our information and all of our knowledge, when really the answer is within. So let's figure out how to rebuild this trust with your inner wisdom, your intuition, your inner knowing. I would absolutely start small. Don't start with making a decision about your health like a hysterectomy. Start small. Food choices. Will this food make me feel awesome or awful? Think about it before you actually feel it. Think about it before you eat it, and then check in afterwards. Did I feel awesome or awful? A lot of times when we eat things in menopause, because we've lost our estrogen, which changes our gut health and all the other things, you may notice more bloating, gas, not feeling energy. That would be an example of awful. That food is not for you anymore. Maybe it was something you used to eat when you were younger, but on this side of life, it's not working for you anymore. On the other hand, I also want you to pay attention to food that makes you feel alive and energized. Part of that, I believe, is like a beautiful plate of food makes you feel beautiful, alive, and energized. So you look at that food, is this going to be awesome or awful for me? Check in with your body. What do you think? What do you feel? Eat it. And then afterwards, check in. How's my energy? Is my brain working? Do I feel amazing? Or does my gut feel like it's a solid ball? Another way to practice this is if you do wear a tracker like an Aura Ring or an Apple Watch and it tracks your sleep, ask yourself, how did I sleep last night? Did I get enough deep sleep? Did I get enough REM and light sleep? Check in first and then check the data on your app and see if you were right or wrong. It's a good way to practice before you get into a high stakes moment. Your body wants you to feel good. I need you to hear that. And it doesn't lie to you. So again, when you ask yourself, where do you feel it in your body? And what's the first thing that pops up? That is your inner knowing. You're going to notice the more you practice the awesome awful test, things like strength training and your nutrition are all going to feel different because they're going to be more aligned with what you need right now. To wrap this all up, knowing that menopause really is a return to yourself, a remembering of instead of outsourcing everything out to everyone outside of yourself, trusting your inner knowing and what comes up. I believe that health isn't just your habits, it's actually the energy behind those things. Your job right now isn't to control your body, it's actually to listen to her more and trust what she's saying to you. What would change if you let your body lead this health journey a little bit more? I invite you to try the Awesome Awful test and reach out to me on Instagram. I would love to know what you tested and what happened, what was awesome and what was awful in your life. Also, if you're interested more about cortisol and how that affects your metabolism and weight loss in menopause, check out the last 2 episodes of the menopause method and you will have everything you need to know. Thanks for joining me today. And I hope that you have fun experimenting this return to your body and your inner knowing. It would be awesome if you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me help more women in menopause. Be sure to tune in next week and I'll see you then.